All right, today we are interviewing the owner of High Ticket Offer Financing, King Edwards.
The first thing you need to understand is that your mindset is the most important thing. How do you want your life to be? What type of car do you want to drive? What type of clothes do you want to wear? What type of homes do you want to live in? What type of relationship do you want to be in? What type of money do you want to have in your bank account? Understanding the answers to these questions in totality will help you understand what type of industry you need to be in and how much you need to be charging.
How do you go from that to learning how to scale an automated business? What are some of the lessons and principles that you garner from that?
The first lesson was you have to understand your target market and also understand who is the best target market for your offer. The last piece of advice I would give to a company looking to scale is to come to highticketofferfinancing.com.
All right, today we are interviewing the owner of High Ticket Offer Financing, King Edwards.
Thank you.
So, King, first off, how did you even get into this high ticket space? Like, what's your story? What's your background?
So I actually, fell into this space. Believe it or not, I had no idea how credit worked in any capacity at all. Like I didn't have good credit. I didn't use credit. As a matter of fact, my thought process of what credit was just like, let me just get the money from the bank as quickly as possible and use it as fast as possible on anything. And, I ended up going to a cigar bar when I was about, in my early 20s. And I met this guy that was talking about real estate and how you can leverage credit to get money from the bank and real estate. And I just found it interesting that he was able to do that. So I didn't really know anything about it. Because I didn't know anything about it, I kind of stood on the sidelines and looked and watched him do business for about a year before I decided to jump in. And I got involved with him, and I made money with them very quickly. And once I got into the game and I started understanding that you can raise money, and I was utilizing their product, I was hooked. I mean, I've never seen money, those size of tranches of money, happen that quickly. So for me, it just became a very big interest of mine. And on top of that, just being able to help other people as well, get access to capital. You start to realize that a lot of people need capital. So it just became a passion of mine actually to help individuals get what they need to succeed in business. So that's the story.
Got it. So, how do you go from that to learning how to scale an automated business? What are some of the lessons and principles that you garner from that? And also, another side of the coin, what were some of the failures or the lessons that taught you what not to do, and then figuring out how to do it proper?
No, that's a great question. So for me, failure was actually my biggest contributor to understanding everything that I understand today, to be honest. I didn't necessarily have traditional schooling initially. Now I am a licensed financial professional, but I wasn't that way early on. I was very aggressive. I tried a lot of online businesses at first, selling low ticket offers. The margins weren't there. I couldn't sustain it. Like I just wanted to make a bunch of money at once. So when I got into the financing space and I saw how much money was able to be made, it was just, I utilized some of the marketing principles that I learned with the low ticket offer. And I also did a consulting class. So I learned how to, properly vet and define a niche, which was very important to my journey. So I learned how to properly define a niche. And then from there, I just applied those principles to this space and moved forward. So the first lesson was that you have to understand your target market and also understand who is the best target market for your offer. Sometimes the target market that you initially want is not the target market that's best for your offer. So to give you an example, initially, when I first started working with that company, they were targeting people that did not have good credit, and they were helping people fix their credit and then helping them get loans so that they can get into real estate. That's what they were doing. And I realized that that was not the quickest way for me to get to my goal, which was financial freedom. Well, people with good credit don't have money. So obviously, a lot of people with good credit don't have money. And that's just statistically speaking. Like 86, I always say this, but 86% of all entrepreneurs haven't even made $100,000 yet. And 50% of the United States has a 700 credit score. So when you look at all of those numbers, it just becomes evidently clear that at least 50% of the 30 million entrepreneurs that exist have a 700 credit score. And if the number one problem that entrepreneurs have is access to capital, that is the number one problem that all entrepreneurs have. It doesn't matter if they're a music entrepreneur, an entrepreneur in any industry, the number one issue that they all have is access to capital. So once you understand that, it's like, okay, well, if I can offer this product to people who have the credit, then we can win. So that was an example of us changing the niche to something that was more profitable. So sometimes the niches that you initially pick won't be the niche that you end with. The reason why that's important to me is because sometimes people think it's the product that needs to change, but it's the way that you're delivering the product that needs to change. And sometimes it's who you're delivering the product to that needs to change. So that was big on the onset. Going from there, the next thing was understanding the marketing systems that needed to be in place in order for people to purchase and be interested in my high ticket offer. When I initially got into the high ticket offer space, I was working in the music industry, and I was specifically interested in the music industry because my parents were in the music industry, and I saw that a lot of these individuals that were in the music industry, but this is how it initially started. If they understood that they can get access to capital to market and promote their own music, then they wouldn't have to wait for a label to give them the money to help them succeed. So that was very important to me because there's 2 million independent artists in the United States alone. There's 2 million. So all of these people are not going to get signed, but that doesn't mean that they're not talented. That doesn't mean that they can't make money. That doesn't mean that they can't do what they love. I believe everybody should have the opportunity to do what they love. So, if we can solve the issue of helping them get the money to do what they love, that was going to be a very important thing for me. So the reason why that's important is because I ended up building a lot of relationships in the celebrity and entertainment space. And I understood that a lot of major brands gain public validation for their product utilizing faces that other people know to gain awareness. And if their product is good enough, then people will keep coming back for more. That was the second thing that we did. After we figured out that there was a better niche for us to target, then we started aligning ourselves with the various celebrities and influencers that we had access to get the initial bump of interest and notoriety to the funding platform that we had. And that sustained us. I mean, we did that initially, and since then we've never really had to, because the financing product is so aggressive, people just tell people and they just continue to tell people. And that was 10 years ago, man. I have not had to partner up with another influencer since. I mean, now we're going to start doing it, right, and really taking this thing to a next level thanks to our partnership with Eric and how we redefined how we do business here. But ultimately, we've been able to sustain just by word of mouth over the last few years.
Gotcha. So for a business owner, when they're looking to create a system, like what advice do you have for them? Like, what is the system and where should they start?
You did a great job explaining the internal systems that people need to have in order to have a scalable system, right? KPIs, systems, processes, standard operating procedures. So if you haven't watched that episode, make sure you do, because that is where you're going to get the answer to exactly what it is that you just said. What I want to cover is how to make more money with your high ticket offer, how to scale your high ticket offer, because one thing that we've been able to do effectively is change people's price point from where they were originally, which would be in the low thousands, to being able to charge hundreds of thousands of dollars for their products and services, and to be able to close those deals regularly. And I always tell the story of one of our initial clients, who was in the music marketing space. He was struggling to get people to pay $10,000 a month to market and promote their music before he came to highticketofferfinancing.com. His first 60 days with highticketofferfinancing.com, he got 300,000 in sales. And it was because of exactly what I'm about to tell you now. So you guys want to make sure you pay attention to this. The first thing you need to understand is that your mindset is the most important thing. I was watching a video from a guy that was on Instagram the other day, sold his business for 30 million, love his energy. And he was talking about the fact that he doesn't really like to talk about processes anymore because he can tell people about the process all day long and they still won't do it. And he realized that the real secret to success is in between their ears. It's what's going on in their mind. So I want to address the mindset piece real quick, because that is the piece to me that once you're able to hone in on your mindset, that's when your life is going to change. And really, we're going to go into a quick spiritual exercise, because this is exactly what this is. But in order to first shape your mindset, you have to understand where it is that you're looking to go with your life, your business, and just your entire life in general. A lot of times people like to isolate their business, but I don't believe that business is isolated from life. I believe that it's all, your whole life is a business, right? Your whole life is a business. So how do you want your life to be? What type of car do you want to drive? What type of clothes do you want to wear? What type of homes do you want to live in? What type of relationship do you want to be in? What type of money do you want to have in your bank account? Understanding the answers to these questions in totality will help you understand what type of industry you need to be in and how much you need to be charging. So that's number one, is your mindset needs to be right. And you also need to understand that charging $100,000, going into that mindset, if your decision is that you want to be rich, right? If your decision is that you want to be rich, then you need to understand that there are people that sell, right, Q-tips and make millions. And there are people that sell Lamborghinis and make millions, right? You can sell a $100,000 product like Harvard does. Harvard, to go to Harvard University is $57,000 a year, plus books and all the ancillary things that you pay for. It's $83,000 a year. Harvard University is charging $83,000 a year per student to go to Harvard University. And in a world where we all are very aware that the school system is failing, they still graduated 1,667 kids last year, which means what? People are willing to pay 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, $100,000 for information. It's important for you to understand that people are willing to pay $100,000 for information, and we have proof of that. So then how do you become the type of person that can charge $100,000 for information? You have to become what? A specialist at something. Now, we have different levels of entrepreneurs here, right? You might be an entrepreneur that's already very successful in business, or you might be an entrepreneur that's just starting out. The point is that you need to become a specialist at something, no matter where you are in your business. Even if you're talking about your KPIs, your key performance indicators, which is what you discussed on the last episode that we did. The reality is that that's also becoming a specialist, understanding which part of your business is performing the best, and then maximizing on those pieces, and then eliminating things in your business that you're not performing well at. And that's how you get to a solid business. Once you have built this machine, then I believe, number one, every single successful entrepreneur should have a consulting course along with their skill set, where they teach other people to do exactly what it is that they do. because that's where you can start to charge 15, 20, 30, 40, $50,000 for a year of communicating with you for that product and service. You can help them build something in your industry. To take it a step further, if you want to really take this and make this a business thing, then you can teach them how to become successful in your industry, and then you can they can become a franchisee of your business. So now you become a part owner of their business, while you're teaching them, while they've paid you a tuition to learn how to do it. This is how you create an offer. So the first thing I ask a consultant that's successful, because most people that come into our platform are people that already have successful businesses. Like, in order for you to have the balls to charge $50,000 for a product or service, you need to be good at what you do. And we really are strict about the people we do business with on this platform. Like, we're not just going to have people who are doing business with us and getting a bunch of complaints. We're not going to continue doing business with them. Like, you have to have a real business, right? Because we're trying to help people. We want to give people access to all the capital that they need to give themselves an opportunity to be successful. Right? So in order for us to do that, we also have to help the business owners on our platform be successful as well. Obviously, we have products that can go up to $3 million. Our no doc platform goes up to 150,000. It actually goes above 150,000, but 150,000. So I asked them, I say, what is, if you charged $150,000 for something within your business, how would you do it? Okay, like, what would you provide if a client was willing to pay you $150,000 right now? Okay, what would you do? The reason why this is important is because a lot of times people want to make big money, but they don't even have the mechanism in place to make big money. I want to make $150,000, but you don't have a product that's $150,000. You don't even have a product that's $10,000. So because you don't even have the offer available, you can't sell it. So you have to have the offer. So the first thing is, if you were selling, if somebody had 150,000 cash and they say, listen, I have to give this to you right now, give me value for my money. Think about what part of your business you would offer, how you would offer it, how you would give them 150,000 worth of value. That's number one. Then I want you to now start there. Then I want you to go to 125,000. How would you give them $125,000 value? Then 100, then 75, then 50, then 25, then 10 if you want to have something on the low end. What kind of value would you offer your client? What services would you give them to quantify that value? Okay, and then that's your new offer stack. So that's number one. Okay, after you have the offer stack in place, the next thing you need to do is what you said, which is define your SOPs. Okay, so define your standard operating procedures. Understand every single aspect of your business, okay, down to, and I'll just give you guys some important information because we've done this. You want to know what font, like, this is how deep your SOPs need to be. You need to know what font you use for your marketing material. You need to know what color you use for your marketing material. That's how detailed your SOPs need to be. You need to know what voice your product is. What voice do you have? Is it an authoritative voice? Is it a professional voice? Is it a comedic voice? You will begin to connect with people based on these different things. People will connect when they see that gold ticket. They know that it's highticketofferfinancing.com. It's our colors are black and gold. That's it. Like, there's a brand there. One thing that I want to help you guys understand too, the reason why we've segmented this into two parts is because I'm talking more of the branding, bringing to market aspect. You're talking more of the systems and processes, internal aspect. Very important, because one saying that I want you guys to completely understand, and this saying absolutely changed my life: you cannot build a business and build a brand at the same time. They're two different things. Your business is your standard operating procedures. Your business is your offers. Your business is your team. Your brand is how the public will interact with this. Your color scheme, your marketing, your advertising, all of that is part of brand building. Your sponsorship opportunities, the celebrities that you're building. If you want to be successful, you have to build your business first, or you have to be white labeling a product from a business that's already working and then building a brand afterward. So this is the reason why people can come in the Amazon space and instantly start making money, because all they're doing is building a brand on top of if they're an affiliate marketer, they're building a brand on top of a business, right? That's already works. Like they already have the marketing mechanism, which is the Amazon platform. They're marketing products on Amazon. But once you start building a brand, now you have to have a little bit more infrastructure in place. First thing you need to know is how much who you're targeting is number one. Then what would you give them if they were paying you $150,000, right? And you want to have these offers in place so that you can actually sell them. Because if you're partnered with highticketofferfinancing.com, we regularly finance those levels of deals. Okay. Then after that, you want to make sure you have your standard operating procedures in place. Then after that, you need to start to put in key personnel. Okay, there's different places where you can find key personnel. Okay, if you're just starting out, I would even say, if you're just starting out, you could go on Upwork, you could go on Fiverr, you can go on any of these different platforms and find people that can do specifically exactly what it is that you need to do. Or you can get a referral from somebody, right, to do that, to get you exactly what you need, like to start out and get things rolling. And then as you progress, you'll meet other people that are potentially not 100%, but potentially more prolific at those specific endeavors. And then you can start to plug and play those individuals in. The next thing you need is marketing, right? Now, in order to do the marketing rollout, we've discussed this. You have to decide, is it more important for you right now to put money into ads or put money into brand recognition? Meaning, is it more important for you to buy ads, or is it more important for you to align yourself with influencers that are in your specific sector? Because they yield two different results, right? If you partner up with an influencer, the influencer, and this is always my next go-to-market play. Like I always love this, because working with influencers, you get to leverage their audience, you get to leverage their relationship with their audience. And if they're a really good influencer, they'll drive a lot of traffic to you while validating what it is that you're doing. So that's a successful approach. Once you have that success with the influencer, you can take those visuals and you can turn it into an ad that you can now use to market and promote your business. Once you figured this out, you figured out how your business works, and you've developed high ticket offers in your business. You've created a value stack that's perfect. Your clients love it. You have your SOPs in place. You've hired personnel that is actually professional at each and every endeavor that you've created an SOP for, down to the color scheme, the colors that you use for your brand. Then you can start to work with closers like your company, right? Which can help you increase your closing ratio and help you actually remove yourself from the internal workings of the business, so you can focus on making the overall operation of the business more successful, which is your role as the CEO or founder of your company. You need to make sure that your business is operating perfectly, but going through the different steps is important. Not rushing through the steps to me is important as well, because there's no rush here. Like on the internet, people, they want to compete amongst each other before they've had a great product. They want to compete with other people. And you mentioned this, because I don't know if that part made it into the episode, but I did know that you did say it, that you were working with these individuals and you didn't know about legal, and then things went left. That same thing happened to me. Your legality in your business is literally one of the most important aspects of your business. We're going to get into this in the next segment, but your legality is extremely important, because once you've mastered the front part, which is how to scale your business properly by adding in the KPIs and the standard operating procedures that Eric discussed on the first part of this episode, along with the systems and processes and go-to-market processes that I discussed on this episode, you now have enough information, along with, obviously having a solid product, and having financing options that work for your customers. You now have enough information to gain success, relative success in this space, right? Once you start to gain success, you will realize that the legality part of things is something that you will always face. And is understanding this as an entrepreneur is very important too, towards scale. Understanding that the more money you make, the more desire you may have to spend it. Now, the more you show people your money, the more they're going to expect you to spend it now. And this is a very dangerous space for an entrepreneur who hasn't really weathered too many storms to get into a space where they're making a bunch of money and spending it, because one lawsuit can change the trajectory of your business. One of the things that I think that are extremely important for people that are coming into this platform to understand is that one of the things, in my opinion, that separate us is our ability to not just help you get financing, but to help you have these conversations that we're having right now, that can save you years of heartache, because we've gone through it. Eric, you've gone through your own positives and negatives in business, your own peaks and valleys in business. I've gone through my own peaks and valleys in business. And so through those peaks and valleys, you understand how to do things. If you're going through business as an entrepreneur without formal training, it's very hard to get formal training as an entrepreneur without actually being an entrepreneur. Like, you have to go in and do it, and you have to fail, and you have to make mistakes, and you have to just go through the motion. So the legality, the parts where we can help, is really helping you identify the things in your business that are not working well, the things in your business that you need to fix before XYZ problems happen. That's where that personal touch that we have here at High Ticket Offer Financing really helps entrepreneurs. So that's my take on scaling.
Yeah, that's amazing. So before we close out, what would be the last piece of advice that you would give to a company looking to scale?
The last piece of advice I would give to a company looking to scale is to come to highticketofferfinancing.com. And the reason why I say that isn't because we're involved in highticketofferfinancing.com. I'm saying that because I know the heart of the people that are involved in highticketofferfinancing.com. That's why I'm saying it. I know that we definitely care more about people than we care about profits. And I think that that's rare today. I think that that's rare. I think that that's very rare. Like, it's very rare that I meet entrepreneurs who are willing to say no to something before, just because it doesn't align, they're willing to say no if they know they can make a bunch of money from it.